Hey y'all, let's talk about becoming an au pair for special needs kids. Now, working with special needs kids can be amazing. It can be so fulfilling. In fact, I didn't even tell you guys on this app, when I was applying and I saw some of my old papers, I specifically wanted to become an au pair in my first and second time for special needs kids because I've worked with special needs kids before and it's so rewarding, so fulfilling. However, the people I matched with didn't have special needs kids, so I still said yes. I didn't want to limit myself to the whole process, but I just want to give tips or just pointers to those au pairs who are either thinking of matching with a family that has special needs kids or are already with a family that has special need kids. Okay, the first thing I would say is if you're considering going to work for a family that has kids with special needs, I would say make sure communication is clear. Ask all the questions, make sure you feel supported, and make sure that you know before you even say yes to becoming their au pair, you know what it entails and what's required. Ask them as many questions as possible, like what happens if this happens, what happens if that happens, what are you guys expecting from me, like what can I do, how do I do this without overworking myself or without overworking you guys. Are they independent? Because some kids that have special needs are still fully independent. They just need somebody to watch over and make sure they do it correctly, but they like to do it themselves. And then there's some kids that need people to do stuff for them, like need your help, not 24/7, but kind of need you to help all the time. And so I would say ask as many questions as possible and make sure you feel comfortable and make sure you feel like it's a safe space and you can, like they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, you're asking too many questions, but they're going to love it. And I know most not even just host families, most parents who have kids with special needs love when people take their time and want to learn and want to get into their world and want to help and want to make sure that the kids and you are safe. And so I would do that. I would ask them everything before just making a decision and being like, sure. The second thing I would say is once you've decided to become their au pair, I would research as much as possible. I would research the condition, how to support the person, like the kid who has the condition. What does it entail you as an au pair? What are the steps, how to do it? Look at videos. There's a lot of YouTube videos out nowadays. How can you help them? How can you not help them? How can you make their life easier? How can you make your life easier? I would research, and your host family will give you information, but I would still also research and try to understand their situation. Like let's say you have a kid that deals with maybe like a disease called A, for example. I would want to know everything about this disease called A. I want to know like how can I help this person? How can I help them have the best life possible? How can I be part of this beautiful journey of making sure they have fun, of making sure, because even though these kids have special needs, they still kids at the end of the day and they still want to have a full life. And so how can you bring that into their world? By you researching, it'll also help you it'll also help you connect with the kid, and it'll show that you took time out of your day to just understand, especially if you're dealing with an older kid, like you want to know, okay, what's it, and even just small things like researching fun games to play with kids with special needs in that specific area, or fun things to do, or how to teach them on how to do stuff. There's so many ways, and as I said earlier, like let's say the person has A, I would Google like how to go to the park with a kid that has A, how to play fun games with a kid that has A, how to do like memory games, or how to do certain things. Like there's certain things, and there's so many things you can do even though they have special needs that will bring so much joy to their faces. And so I would highly recommend doing all your research. Number 3 is I would find out from your host family when you arrive, will there be some sort of training for you? Will you have to do like a first aid, a CPR, a specific skill set training in needs to either their special needs or that kind of stuff? Or do you think, or like, will they just be like, oh, we'll teach you stuff like that? But I would highly recommend, if you get there and you feel like, hey, they're teaching me, but you do find a course that you say, hey, I do want to do this course because I feel like for the safety of myself and the kids, it'll help. Can I do the course? Would you guys pay for the course for me to do it? I don't think host families would be mad. If anything, they'd gladly pay for it because you're making sure the safety of their kid is safe. And so find out if there's specific courses. I'm not taking care of a special need kid, But when I got here, I was like, I want to do a CPR course and a safety course, because I want to make sure that, like, if my host kid chokes around me or that kind of stuff, I'm able to do it. Now, my agency pays for that, so I didn't have to ask my host family to pay for it. They paid for it, so that was amazing. Okay, number 5 is you need to be patient with the kids and with yourself. Learning a new routine in general is hard, and so it may take extra time with a special needs kid. They may have to warm up to who you are. They may have to get used to who you are. You need to understand that it may take longer than just if you had a normal kid. Let's say, because even with normal kids, routines or different changes are hard and strong, and they're used to having their mom around, and suddenly you come in. So with a special need kid, it's the same thing. Like, you need to be patient. You can't expect them to be faster than the normal pace. You need to understand that it is a lot of changes happening for them and for you, and so just be patient and take it one day at a time, and just like learn as much as you can, and know that it's very fulfilling. And don't compare it to when you were just taking care of other kids. And I always say, with any special needs kid in general, no case is the same. And so even if you took care of a special need kid before, don't expect that, oh, if Maria, who was a special need, she adjusted to me within 3 days, Jacob, who's a special need, is going to adjust to me in 3 days. They are different kids. They have different brains. And so just be patient that it is going to work out. And you just need to give it time. And you need to give yourself patience, and you need to give the kid patience. And you need to learn that we all develop differently. Before I get to number 6, I also want to say that just remember to also celebrate their achievements, their small wins. Like, let's say you come and you're like, usually she's used to crying for her mom when her mom leaves, but when you came this morning, she was not crying. You can say, hey, well done. You didn't cry for your mom. I'm here. You know, or like if you're allowed to give them rewards or treats, be like, you later on at 1 o'clock, we'll do a lollipop, you know, that whole thing. It's like small things like those where it's like, if you see small glimpses of growth or achievements, be like, yay, you know, like clap. Because it can be really fun, but it also can be really hard, and it can be really draining. And so just be patient. Now, number six, this is my last point, and then I'm out of your face, is make sure you take care of yourself. Because as I said earlier, it can be a lot, it can be draining, but you need to take care of yourself. Make sure you have like a self-care routine. Make sure you like going for walks. Make sure you also have your life outside of the house. Make sure that you yourself, you also having grown-up conversations, that you're not just only stuck with kids all the time, those kind of things. And like, make sure that you're not like, if something goes wrong, or if you feel like you like, unless you really feel you're not equipped to the job, but if you feel like, oh, I made a mistake today, I'm not as perfect as the previous year, like, take time back and understand that the situation at hand is difficult and you're trying your best. Don't assume that, oh, because you've done research, because you've done the course, because you've asked all the questions, you're just gonna be perfect and it's just gonna work out. No, take care of yourself, take time, be patient, do one thing at a time, figure out a routine that works for you and the kid, because everyone's routine is different. And I'm not talking about like the school change the whole school hours, but I'm saying like, there'd be small things that may be easier doing it your way than the way you were taught, because it's just harder. You're just not getting it. Maybe that person was a left-hand person and you a right-hand person, and so you have to tweak some of the things you learned. Just be patient, take your time, take care of yourself, make sure you yourself are in good spirits, make sure you're feeling supported. But that is it for today's video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I always say, don't rule out because a family has special kids. It could be the best time of your life. As I said earlier, I actually wanted to go to a host family that had special needs kids, because I had so much fun doing a prior before I was an au pair. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I could have so much fun. I'm not afraid of doing it, and I loved the kids that I looked after that had special kids. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.